This is a tough question because it's so easy when you really get into whatever craft or idea that you get into, and then you go online and somebody has done something better. And it's said that comparison is the thief of joy, that once you start comparing yourself to what other people are doing, you start to say, oh, maybe I shouldn't do things this way, or maybe I should stop doing this because someone is better. And I would encourage you to keep doing whatever you're doing, because if you keep doing something over years and years and years, there are just not that many people in the world that have done that specific thing for that long. And over time, you have to learn that no matter what someone else does online, you matter just as a person, exactly who you are and what you're doing as yourself. And so before you look online and start comparing yourself to others, just remember that that's just a little moment in their lives, and you can have just as many of those moments as you want to, but just focus more on who you are and what you are uniquely good at, and really amplify that over time. Cyberbullying is a big issue because at some point, someone is going to say something mean to you online. It doesn't mean that you have any less self-worth. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you don't mean anything. In fact, some people just are upset and they need to take out their stress online. Really, they should be taking a walk, but instead they're being mean and ganging up on people. It's really important to remember that you don't have to deal with cyberbullying alone. Make sure that you have people in your life that believe you. Take screenshots of the bullying. Make sure to archive all of that material and bring it to somebody that you trust. Not everyone is going to be on your side, but don't lose hope. Sometimes time heals. Sometimes bullies move on. But if it keeps happening, make sure that you reach out to a support group that believes you and has the resources to help you out. And again, it doesn't mean that your life is over. It doesn't mean that you have to self-harm, and it doesn't mean that you have to lose hope. There are thousands of people that get cyberbullied every day. And in fact, it's sometimes the normal thing that people in middle school do to each other. But remember to not lose hope, because there are people that will help you out. One of the things that I do is actually I have kind of a more public account, and then I have a more private account that I only let a couple of friends to see. And I think this is really important because I can really think about what I'm posting publicly, and then behind the scenes with my more private account, I can be more of myself, and that trusted group of friends might not share that information as much. This is of course not going to prevent all cyberbullying, but it does help me be able to determine and have control over what I post online. So it's really important to consider publicly, what am I presenting, and then privately, where are some spaces that I can be safe and have fun and be my full self in those spaces. This is a hard question because sometimes I'm online and I'm not having a good time because sometimes I see an article that I'm really upset by, or someone made a post that's hurtful and I get really upset. And there's a term I'd like to teach you called the amygdala. The amygdala is right inside of your brain, and it actually has that kind of fight or flight response. That's what gets triggered when you see some content that you don't like or somebody is attacking you online. And it can kind of take over all of your emotions. So what I do when I get upset by something online is I take a step back, I just go away from the content. Sometimes I take a walk, sometimes I eat. But how I react to that content really matters, and I can change how I react to it. So I encourage you to kind of take a step back when you're feeling really emotional when you see some content and think, how can I solve this in a longer term way? How can I address this differently? How can I make peace with this? And how can I make sure that I'm not going into it and letting it affect me and prevent me from sleeping or making me upset or being mean to somebody else because I was upset by this content. All technology can be used in helpful or harmful ways. For instance, a hammer can really hurt your hand if you miss the nail. On the other hand, it can help you build a house. So it's really important to see how people use technology, how you react to technology, how technology fits into your life, and whether you live harmoniously alongside technology or whether you're babysitting technology and it's interrupting you all the time.